A guide, known as the Stalker, leads two men, a writer and a professor, into a forbidden territory called the Zone, where the laws of reality shift and where there is said to be a room that grants one's deepest wish. Along the way, the three men face dangers, arguments, and doubts. The writer seeks inspiration, the professor seeks knowledge, and perhaps control, while the Stalker believes in the Zone as something sacred. When they finally reach the room, none of them dares to enter, each afraid of what it might reveal about their true desires. They return without crossing the threshold. In the end, back at home, the Stalker despairs that people no longer believe in mystery or hope. The film closes with his disabled daughter, Monkey, quietly moving a glass with her mind, a hint that the Zone's power and the possibility of the miraculous still exists. Behind, Andrei Tarkovsky uses the Zone as a central symbol. It is a mysterious, forbidden area where the normal rules of reality don't seem to apply, and where there is said to be a room that fulfills a person's innermost desires. The Zone can be interpreted on several levels. 1. Spiritual and inner world. The Zone reflects the inner human landscape. Entering it is like entering one's own subconscious, facing fears, doubts, and desires. It is not just a physical space, but a mirror of the soul. 2. Faith and the sacred. The Stalker treats the Zone almost like a holy place. The dangerous, ever-changing paths suggest that faith requires humility, caution, and trust. The room resembles the concept of divine grace, but one must be spiritually ready to face what it reveals. 3. Existential struggle. The Zone shows how fragile human hopes are. It tests whether people can confront their true selves. Often, they are afraid to face their deepest desires, because those desires might not be as noble as they think. 4. Contrast with the outside world. The world outside the Zone is gray, industrial, and lifeless. The Zone, in contrast, is alive, unpredictable, and full of mystery. This contrast highlights the tension between a mechanized, soulless society and the possibility of spiritual rebirth. Essence of the Zone. The Zone is a metaphorical landscape, a place where the material world and the spiritual world overlap. It demands honesty from anyone who enters. In this way, Stalker is not just about an expedition through dangerous terrain, but about the human search for meaning, faith, and truth. The Zone is not a place, but a mirror, a shifting landscape where the earth breathes and listens, where every step is a confession. Its room grants not what we ask for, but what we truly desire, laying bare the hidden heart. Beyond the gray wasteland of the world outside, the Zone shimmers with danger and mystery, a sacred wilderness that tests faith and unmasks the soul. In Stalker, almost everything is symbolic, especially the Zone and the room. Tarkovsky never explains them directly, which is why they feel so mysterious and powerful. Here's a deeper look. The Zone, a living space. The Zone seems to have its own will. Paths shift, rules change, traps appear where nothing is visible. This makes it less a physical place than a metaphor for life, faith, and destiny. Mirror of the soul. What happens in the Zone depends on the traveler's inner state. It reflects back one's fears, desires, and truth. Sacred dimension. To the Stalker, the Zone is holy ground. Entering it requires humility, respect, and trust, much like approaching God or mystery. Contrast. Outside the Zone, the world is gray, mechanical, deadened. Inside, the Zone is alive, unpredictable, almost enchanted. This contrast symbolizes the tension between a lifeless, materialistic society and the possibility of spiritual renewal. The room. Wish-fulfilling chamber. The room is said to grant your innermost desire, but it is not what you think you want. It gives what you truly want, often buried deep in the subconscious. Test of truth. Because of this, entering the room is terrifying. Many realize they don't really know themselves, or they fear what they might discover. Moral spiritual trial. The room doesn't lie. If your deepest desire is selfish or cruel, that's what it will fulfill. Thus, it reveals the fragility of human ideals. Uncertainty. Tarkovsky never shows us the inside of the room or its effects directly. This keeps it open. Is it real, or is it a mirror of faith itself? Together, the Zone, the spiritual journey. Unpredictable, dangerous, mysterious. The room was the ultimate confrontation with truth, the self stripped bare, the revelation of what lies at the very core of your being. Let's look at how the zone and the room connect to the three central figures. Each character embodies a different human response to mystery, faith, and truth. The stalker, the guide, the believer. Relationship to the zone. He treats it as sacred, alive, almost divine. For him, the zone is a place of hope and renewal where weary souls might be healed. Relationship to the room. He never uses it for himself. His faith lies not in getting answers, but in leading others toward the possibility of transformation. Symbolism. The stalker represents faith and humility, the willingness to believe even without proof. The writer, the artist, the doubter. Relationship to the zone. He approaches it with skepticism, mocking reverence and searching for inspiration. To him, the zone is a chance to find meaning for his fading creativity. Relationship to the room. He fears it. The possibility that his deepest wish may not be noble terrifies him. He realizes that the truth might expose his vanity or emptiness. Symbolism. The writer represents artistic doubt and existential despair, the fear that our innermost self is hollow. The professor, the scientist, the rationalist. Relationship to the zone. He treats it with suspicion, as something dangerous that must be studied or even destroyed. He brings a bomb to the room, intending to prevent its power from being misused. Relationship to the room. He does not want it to exist at all. Knowledge or power that transcends reason feels threatening. Symbolism. The professor represents rationality and control, the attempt to reduce mystery to something manageable or to eliminate it altogether. The triangle of responses. Stalker, faith and humility before mystery. Writer, doubt and fear of inner truth. Professor, rational suspicion, desire for control. Together, they show three archetypal human ways of confronting the unknown. Many viewers overlook the stalker's daughter, Monkey, but she is crucial in understanding Stalker. Tarkovsky placed her at the very end of the film for a reason. Who is Monkey? She is the stalker's daughter, physically disabled. She cannot walk normally, sometimes described as crippled. Because of her father's exposure to the zone, her deformity is implied to be a result. Yet in the film's final moments, she appears to move a glass across the table with her mind, a subtle, almost miraculous act. Monkey is the film's final paradox. She is both the scar left by the zone and the promise of its mystery. Where the writer and professor fail to enter the room, she quietly reveals that the zone's power is already at work, not in theory or belief, but in the innocent life of a child. The film shows that the greatest journey is not through the zone, but into the hidden depths of the human soul, where faith, fear, and truth are revealed.